I mean,
apparently.
either Philly really showed up to play, or Minnesota just didn't show up at all. I mean, that was sad, dude.
Well, what was sad about it? What do you mean?
Just, I don't know. It seemed like, I mean, I'm supposed to be watching the #1 defense in the NFL, and they're just getting romped on the whole game, just romped on.
Okay, fair enough. Here's the thing. With that team and their abilities,
and this is not a questionable team. This is not like the Nick Foles Philadelphia Eagles. Case Keenum played with this team good majority of the year.
right?
We knew what we were getting. So, I mean, he should be prepared for this. He's had almost the entire year to prepare for it. Whereas Nick Foles is coming in 2-3 games, and this guy, miraculous.
Right.
Just pulling it out, man.
Some other breaking news. Giants just hired Vikings offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur as the 18th head coach of the New York Giants. Just now. Wow.
Just now.
Cards named Panthers DC defensive coordinator. Wilkes is the new head coach over in Arizona. So, yeah.
So jobs are being filled.
Yeah, they're being filled. Quick like and in a hurry. I don't know how I feel about Pat Shurmur in New York, man.
Yeah, that's iffy.
I don't know
That's iffy.
how I really feel about that. So, yeah. Anyway, so if you want to get at us, easiest way to do it, 719-422-9489. Text us or give us a call here in the studio, and we'll talk to you. So, best and worst of the weekend. I really didn't have a best. I mean, I did and I didn't. This was a bad sports weekend for me. My Rangers lost. You know, Philly's going to the
Avs.
You know, yeah.
Some of the Avs who are
Yes,
on a
yes.
streak right now. Dude.
Yeah, they are.
They are rolling.
9 games.
9 games. Yeah.
It was just bad. And last night, things just got worse for me as a Steeler fan, because Terry Bradshaw, in his infinite wisdom,
Oh, that was hideous, dude.
decided that he was gonna sing "Fly Eagles Fly."
That was horrible. And what was even funnier was after he started, he couldn't get him to stop.
I'm just like,
Come on, man.
look, I understand that you are a commentator now, and you're a former player, I guess second, if that's the terminology you want to use or how you want to say it. That's fine, Terry. But at the end of the day, you're still a freaking Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to stand on national
Steeler
TV
legend.
and scream at the top of your lungs, "Fly, Eagles, fly." I cannot tell you how full my timeline, or I should say my messages, between text messages and people messaging me on Twitter about, friends of mine that are Steeler fans, and they're just like, "Can you believe this idiot?" And I'm like, "It's Terry. What do you expect?"
Right, yeah.
I honestly, was I upset? Yes.
Of course.
Did it shock me?
No.
Not really. It shocked me initially. I was like, okay, Terry's being an idiot, but I understand. He is a broadcaster first, and he was going out there to present the trophy for the NFC Championship game. I get it. But as a former Steeler, I thought maybe he would have taken a different route. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Instead of singing,
That makes sense.
singing their quote unquote fight song or whatever you want to call that
Because they had
stupid
just
thing.
gotten done singing it. They don't need to sing it again.
I was really, really blown away. So, anyway.
You know what my best of the weekend is?
Huh?
Because the guy cracks
Glad you
me
had
up.
one.
The guy cracks me up. I just think it's funny. Robert Kraft, man. This guy receiving his trophy at the end of the game. Dude, how much is this guy drinking during the game? Every time he gets that trophy. Dude is sloshed.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, slurring his words.
I guess when you're that old and you're,
No, that's
I guess when you're that old and you're that rich,
you can do whatever you want, I guess.
You know what I mean?
But you think you're gonna know? I might have to go down on public television in front of millions of people all around the world and accept the trophy. I might not want to get totally hammered. You'd think, but dude, that's great. I was cracking up the entire time. That was my best of the weekend.
I looked at it as well, first of all, it was very tough for me to even like try to do that, which was watch that Lamar Hunt trophy acceptance deal.
Yeah.
But I did catch I guess the replay or like a bit of it, and only because people on social media started ripping him a new one. So I was like, well, what did he do? You know, because I didn't watch it. And then I went and I watched a clip of it, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh, wow. He's really tore up.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, he was up in the owner's box getting it.
Yeah.
Like, he was not playing.
Having him a partay.
So, yeah. 24-20, New England beat the Jags. 38-7, Philly beat the Vikings.
Stomp the Vikings.
We'll talk some more about that on the other side. We're also going to talk about Case Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater. Uncertain if the Vikings even want them. Could you imagine feeling like that?
Let the quarterback controversy begin.
After you've done all that for this team, Case Keenum now at this point feels like he might not even have a home.
Throwaway quarterback now.
That's probably how he feels right now. All right, y'all. Keep it locked. Sports Guy Mike Show presented by Woodman Nissan right here on Cruisin' 101.3 and online at sportsguymike.com. Keep it locked, y'all. Sid Luckman. So I am trying to. It looks actually pretty good. Streaming on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
As I just as I literally just coughed and it came across the stupid thing. So problem is I need the link. Why can't I get it? Let's try that. I have it on you right now. So. And they're like, oh, you should test. I'm like, I ain't testing it. Like, you should always test everything. And I do test everything. It's just,
right.
You know, I figure, hey, what the heck, right?
Right.
The only problem is I was trying to use this computer, which would have been better because I would have been able to flip from camera to camera.
Right.
With hotkeys. Well.
You got to reach all the way over there.
I either got to reach all the way over here or I got to use this. And I got to constantly move the camera to get the transition. You see what I'm saying? So like, and then I have you queued up. This side is the live side on the right. And then this is, you know, whatever. So then you just click that and it goes to your camera, which is right there. Alrighty. Where's my phone? Oh. Seriously? Use code date. Sports Guy Mike Show, cruising 101.3 KFEZ. Sports Guy Mike, Paul the Buckeye at the end of the table hanging out with you.
Good to be here as always.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, making us a part of your day. We are streaming live on SportsGuyMike.com if you're not in the Colorado Springs area. Or, I can't promise that it's, you know, that I'm going to get the transitions between me and Buckeye all that great, but hey, you can check us out on the Sports Guy Mike Show YouTube page. Just type in the Sports Guy Mike Show. You'll see it. We're live over there as well. I am working feverishly to try and get this studio video ready. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for now, we're using that laptop over there, which it's doing a good job, but it would just make it easier for me if it was right here.
Right here. Right there.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll get it.
But yeah, we'll get it. So
it's a work in progress.
Yes, 719-422-9489 is the number to call or text if you want to join the conversation. You can talk to us. So before we get into, because I definitely want to talk about what happened yesterday. We're definitely going to do that. There's no doubt about it. But there was a really, you know, there's some interesting breakdowns as far as Super Bowl 52 goes, predictions, some things that we should take into consideration. And one of the things that I noticed throughout this entire season, and I've probably said it more times than anybody, and I think it's funny that all of a sudden now I'm hearing sportscasters and analysts saying the same thing that I've said. Now, I'm not saying they're stealing from me because obviously they're not listening. But I just think it's funny that it's something that I've said, you know, after week 4, something that I noticed that nobody's really come to grips with, because all they ever talk to when they talk about the New England Patriots is Tom Brady, and that offense. Now, you got to understand, when you look at this team as a whole, they're kind of ragtag. You know what I mean? Like, you have Gronk, I get it. You have Amendola. Look, I get it. There's some really key components on that offense. LeGarrette Blount, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the thing for me that I would be concerned about if I were the Patriots, and look, 4 points to me is not a slaughter. It's not a whooping. It's you got the win.
Right.
But their biggest Achilles heel, in my opinion, is probably their defense.
Yes.
And if defense wins championships, the New England Patriots should be concerned.
Right.
Because this defense isn't as good as it was last year. Look, they have a defensive end on that team who happens to be a Long, and his name is Chris Long. He's actually really good. But at the end of the day, that's the one thing that I would look at sitting on this side of it, taking my Steeler hat off and saying, this is probably going to be the biggest problem that the Patriots are going to have with Philly, because Philly knows how to score. And obviously with Nick Foles yesterday.
Well, right. I mean,
they know how to score.
The OC has figured something out there. I mean, he's figured out a way to still put points on the board with Nick Foles. And make it look easy, really. I mean, they made it look easy yesterday, really, from what I saw.
Yeah. Look, like I said, if you believe that defense wins championships, New England's going to have a problem. And I know what people are going to say. Well, Mike, they've already won a few championships. And, the thing with New England's defense is kind of that D that has been lucky enough they'll bend. I mean, they'll bend substantially, but they find a way not to break.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Their defense bends, but it doesn't break. And I mean, it really
it's got a lot of flex.
Freaking bends, right. The one thing, and I saw this in an article that was written by some staff writers over at ESPN. They said Patriots will win if they win the turnover differential. Arguably the most impressive statistic in the Bill Belichick era is the Patriots are 159-15 when they have a positive turnover differential, including in the playoffs. Yesterday I had a big issue with these referees.
Oh,
huge.
I think 3/4 of the people in the country did. Yeah.
So you're going to tell me that during that game that the Patriots committed
one penalty for 10 yards.
One penalty?
One.
Really? One penalty. And let's see. The Jags had 6 for 98 yards.
Yeah, a couple of real big PI calls, and yeah.
Look, I get it. I understand things, heat of the moment or the movement of the game. Okay, sure. And people are going to say, you know what, the referees did not win the game for the Patriots. But let me explain something to you. The biggest problem that I've had all year is that every time there's some really, really controversial stuff going on when it comes to referees and calls, the Patriots are always involved.
Right. And they usually come out on the favorable side of it.
Yeah. So
usually.
Explain to me why that is. If I'm the one that's being nutso, right? Well, explain that to me.
Everybody's seen it. I mean, obviously, because you're seeing these memes pop up on NFL memes.
Right.
It's not like a person post. It's NFL memes, and they're posting pictures of the matchup for the Super Bowl, and it's the Eagles versus the refs.
Right. Well, let me put
Everybody sees it.
Right. So let me ask you this. Did you see the referees not once but twice celebrate with the Patriots? At the end of the game.
At the end of the game, walking up, patting Tom Brady and making sure he saw him, pat him on the front. Good job, buddy. Yep.
And in another
instance.
During the touchdown. Correct.
Yes.
So you saw that?
Yes.
So does that, but not as a Patriot disliker, because I don't like to use the word hate, as a not a fan of the Patriots.
Yes.
Did that bother you?
Well, I think it bothers everybody that sees that's not a Patriots fan. You know, I mean, come on. If you want to say congratulations to the guy, send him a text or something later on. Don't be walking up in the middle of the field after the game, making sure you pat him on the back. That don't look real good, you know.
They score a touchdown, and you as a referee are in the midst of the celebration
with a big old smile on your face.
So yeah, I will say this as a non-Patriot fan, it bothered me. What also bothered me was something that I found on social media over the weekend. That apparently there are a few instances, and these were put up by different people, mind you, that there were a few different instances where the play clock was running down and Tom Brady makes the same signal twice in these videos that I've seen, and miraculously the play clock goes from 14 seconds back to 25 seconds. I'm not kidding you. I will show you the tweet.
I gotta see
it will blow your mind. Here's the thing. There are two different tweets by two different people. It's not the same guy. It's not some guy standing on a soapbox, flipping out, trying to, hating on the Patriots. Look, the Patriots won. It is what it is. All I'm saying is that this is one of the reasons why you will never, ever in your life, even if he wins this Super Bowl, you will never get me to say that he is the greatest of all time.
Absolutely not.
You will not. And it's not because
Absolutely not.
And it's not because of my dislike for Tom Brady. What it is it's the fact that there are so many wins that have so much drama and clouds surrounding wins and championships and
question marks.
And even MVPs. How do you give an MVP to a quarterback that was having issues getting the ball down the field in the second half? And thank God for their kicker that got them to win. Not once, but twice. And not once was that guy even... Look, first time, whatever. But the second time he wins you a Super Bowl, and you don't even think about giving this kid the MVP. But I digress. So let me go back. So these videos are so bad and questionable. And of course, I have a friend of mine, his name is Jesse, and he works right across the street from us at the Citadel Mall for one of our best sponsors we've ever had, which is Fan Sports Apparel. And he'll tell you, you're just hating. Oh, those guys made that up. There are two different tweets by two different people in two different instances. You can't make up a hand signal that Tom Brady made and then put the lower third down there that's got the score in it. Nobody's manipulating that.
Well, obviously Tommy Boy is.
But how does nobody see that?
Right.
It's something very odd and very small to the detail that obviously nobody saw.
Right.
But it went down to 14 seconds, and then somehow, some way, Tom Brady made some hand signal, and miraculously the play clock went to 25 seconds.
To 25.
Just saying, man. It's weird. It's
weird. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in New England, isn't there?
Constantly. It's not even sometimes.
No. Yeah.
It's all the time.
All the time.
All the time, people.
All the time.
719-422-9489 is the number to call or text here in the studio. If you want to chime in on this, feel free. We'd love to hear from you. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel, on the Sports Guy Mike Show YouTube channel. And you can also go to SportsGuyMike.com to listen to the show. Keep it locked, y'all, right here on Cruising 101.3. I mean, I find it oddly bizarre.
Yeah.
Look, is it them cheating? I don't know. I have no idea. But if it walks like a duck,
right,
and it quacks like a duck,
and has feathers like a duck,
well, by God, it's probably a duck.
Yeah.
Just saying.
More than likely. Yeah.
Crazy, man. I'm just what makes it worse is it's two teams that I really don't like.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worse for me. Because I can't stand Philly. God knows I can't stand Philly.
The way I see it, the viewership for the Super Bowl just dropped off.
See, and you know what's eerily funny that you say that?
Because
I said
Minnesota was the key to the whole thing.
Yep.
Minnesota was the key.
Minnesota and Jacksonville in that Super Bowl,
right, would have been great.
I guarantee you,
would have been great.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody gives a fuck about Philly. Yeah, that was the second thing that could have happened this weekend.
It's not that nobody's gonna watch; it's that if you think for a second that those numbers aren't gonna be lower than they were last year, right. I mean, people are gonna want to see the Justin Timberlake thing. They're gonna want to see if Janet makes an appearance. I mean,
they're gonna want to see the commercial.
That's where a peak will be, and the numbers are always ridiculous. It's if you're not even a football fan,
right? You still watch the Super Bowl.
People still watch the Super Bowl.
Watch it for the commercials. Hell.
All right, but. I guess I should put my glasses back on. Cruising 1013 KFEZ. Sports Guy Mike Show presented by Woodman Nissan. Make sure you get down there to I-25 and Woodman Road and go check them out. Some of the new and pre-owned vehicles that they have in stock. Some great savings going on right now with their brand new Nissan trucks. Great savings and rebates. Get down there, find Brock, let him know that Sports Guy Mike sent you. Hopefully here, maybe this week, we'll try to get it done. Either this week or next week, we'll be broadcasting live from Woodman Nissan.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
That will be fun.
And then we'll get to have Brock Wilson sit in, which I know he's dying to do since we were doing the show on Sundays over on our sister station,
right?
On Blazing 98.5, and he literally sat in with me every Sunday,
right?
So it was really cool, and it was great having him. So I'm sure he's probably itching to get back on the mic.
Yes, sir.
So we look forward to doing that again with Brock for sure. All right, so I said I talked about this a little bit earlier. Kevin Seifert from NFL Nation talked a little bit about this, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because, you got three quarterbacks. And, the old adage with some of these coaches, is you got three quarterbacks, you got none.
Right.
And the Minnesota Vikings are entering the offseason with complete uncertainty of what's going on in that quarterback slot, and which is rare for a team that won 14 games and actually got to the NFC Championship game. So, it's tough. So, poll question of the day is, who will be the Vikings starting quarterback in 2018? Who's going to get the snaps behind center? Is it going to be Case Keenum? Is it going to be Teddy Two Gloves? Is it going to be Sam Bradford? Or is it going to be someone else? So I want to see if I can pull up these numbers that they have. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. So I am going to pick Teddy Bridgewater.
That would be my pick as well. I think.
So let me tell you what the poll is. It's not our poll. This is an ESPN poll. 36% have Case Keenum. 36% have Teddy Two Gloves. 14% have Sam Bradford. And 13% of the people think that it's going to be someone else.
Someone else.
So if you had to pick, who would you pick?
Like I said, I'm with you. I'm with Teddy Two Gloves. I think he's going to be their guy next year. I think there's way too much talent in that kid to let him not play.
Right. I think at some point, they were looking at Teddy as, as their guy.
As the franchise guy, right?
Right. As the next guy, and this is our franchise guy. And, the only reason Sam Bradford came in, quite honestly, was because they were still unsure on where they stood with Case Keenum. So, in turn, what do? They go out and get Sam Bradford. He comes in, Mr. Injury himself, and what does he do? Gets hurt. Goes down. So, okay, Case. Let's see what you got.
Next up. Here you go.
Right. Next man up mentality like any NFL team. But it's such a bizarre situation when you have three quarterbacks that are all viable.
Right.
The only reason one of them isn't playing is because he suffered a serious injury.
Right.
And, of course, I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater. But Case Keenum did a bang-up job, man. I mean, he didn't do a great job or they'd be going to the Super Bowl. But he did a phenomenal job at stepping in for Sam Bradford, who was on his way to having an unbelievable season for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, he was.
They were, I mean, he looked good. Trust me, you know how I know? He was on my fantasy team.
Right.
And he was killing it. And I was like, yeah. And then he went down and I went, wow. Here we go.
Right. Injury bug bites again. And that's always been Bradford's problem.
It seems like it's his problem more time than it's not.
Right.
In the NFL, there's always that saying, you don't hear of a player saying he used to have a back problem. You don't talk about players like that.
Right.
He used to have a back injury. No, he's always going to have a back injury. This kid's got bad knees, a bad back, and the problem is that the sad part about it all is that he's so young. That's what's really, it's got to be troubling for a guy like that finally thought that, hey, maybe this is my spot. Maybe I can come in here. Maybe I can take Teddy Bridgewater's spot.
Right.
Maybe Teddy will be my backup.
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, if he would have continued to play the way he played in the beginning of the season and didn't get hurt, we might be talking about Sam Bradford as the starter for Minnesota and Teddy Bridgewater being the backup in case Keenum would have been gone.
Absolutely.
So, but it's tough, man. That has got to be something that, immediately after you lose that game to Philly, they're in the front office going, all right, we got to talk about this.
We got to figure this out.
We got to figure this out now.
Because we're going to field about 100,000 questions about it until we announce it next season.
Well, because the other thing now is also going to be the draft. You have the NFL draft coming up, so now it's like, okay, You know, do we go after a quarterback? Do we try to find a guy? You know, so, you know, that's some of the leering or looming questions.
The Vikings have some stuff to work out.
Yes, they do. So, I mean, you know, it'll suck. It'll stink, excuse me, for any of them, you know, not to be there. But, however, the fact that people think that there's going to be a different starting quarterback in Minnesota is actually is quite comical. Because I bet you, if you ask people in Minnesota, they're going to say they want. My guess, the majority would say they want Teddy Bridgewater.
You would think.
To start. You know what I mean? But again, that's the beauty of having training camp, you know, having these guys compete. That's one of the best things about, you know, the preseason or, you know, the off-season goings on that, you know, that happens to happen during that time that you're prepping to get ready for the next season. So, Rob Gronkowski went down pretty hard. You know, the thing about it is people talked about it and they were like, "Oh, it didn't look like that bad of a hit." Well, that's where it all lies. That's why there's such a problem, because it never looks that bad. It doesn't
look like that bad of a hit.
What looked bad was when Gronk got up
and was stumbling
around.
Right,
and he looked like he just got out the club.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That is a problem. I will tell you this. If the Super Bowl was this coming Sunday, he would not be playing.
Nope.
The fact that they have the Pro Bowl as their buffer probably kept him from not, you know what I mean? Right. Probably kept him in
the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
Right, absolutely.
Would you agree with that?
Yes, 2 weeks rest is, I mean, unless it's that severe, 2 weeks rest should be enough to get him back on the field for the Super Bowl.
You would think.
You would think.
Something else that went down that was really weird. Did you see Bill Belichick actually smile and hug Matt Patricia?
Yes.
I was like, what is going on right now?
Right. This dude just cracked a smile.
Even during the press conference, he was like, well, yeah, and, he said, well, you know what? Instead of me trying to make fun of him, I know I have some sound bites in here somewhere. Let's see what we got. Bill Belichick. Oh, you know, we're not talking about open heart surgery here. The guy finally gives us a soundbite, and we get the smart butt answer of, well, it's not like it's open heart surgery here. Brady talking about what kind of year he had this year in the NFL. Just listen. I honestly think that, you know what, and I know people are gonna trash me for this, but I really don't care. I think it was all. Look, I know he cut his hand. He said he bent it backwards. That was the biggest scare. Was it really necessary to leak it out to the media? I mean, I get it. You know, they were like, "Oh my God, he's got a glove on his hand. Oh my God, it looks bad. What happened?" So the media took it and ran with it. What that does to me, it irritates me so much, because then it's like, well, if he would have lost, people would have been like, well, his hand was messed up.
Right.
I don't want to hear that. Here's Tom Brady talking about his hand injury and that it was some kind of freak thing.
What?
Trolling. No, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna be mean. It all just smelled funky to me. It
But
just,
no, I mean,
it
the way
just
I look
did.
at it, even if it
Sorry.
hadn't got leaked out, I mean, we were going to find out about it because when Brady doesn't show up for practice on Wednesday, people are going to start flipping out. When he doesn't show up for practice on Thursday, we're definitely going to know something's up. So, I mean, either way, it's going to get out there, the way I look at it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it probably was going to get out regardless, but I just felt like, you know how the media is. I know how the media is because I've been part of the media for 11 years.
But out of the whole thing. Are you kidding?
I almost felt like it was their way of saying, okay, just in case, we can always say, well, you know, his hand. No. Why? Don't talk. So what? He had a cut. He wasn't making a big deal out of it. He's a gamer. He's got several championships. A little cut on his hand, and the fact that he had to wrap it up, because when he went out there, he sure looked fine to me. But everybody was like, oh, I don't know. It might hinder the way he throws the ball. Why? It's a cut. Yes, I understand he bent his hand back, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And even he said it. So I'm going to shut up now because we need to take a break. And when we get back, we'll do our top 5 at 5 right here on the Sports Guy Mike Show, presented by Woodman Nissan right here on Cruisin' 101.3 FM, KFEZ. Don't forget SportsGuyMike.com. You can listen to us over there as well, or you can go check us out on our Sports Guy Mike Show YouTube page where we are streaming live right now. Keep it locked, Joe. Wish this idiot would call me back about the damn internet and the cable and shit. I went out and got a freaking Roku. I gotta stop cursing. I forgot we're live.
How does that work?
How does what work?
How does that work out? The Roku thing.
Well, it's just like if you have a smart TV. The Roku thing in the back is for if you don't have a smart TV. So you can get the apps and stuff. So like ESPN, Hulu, YouTube, Netflix, you know, whatever. If there's an app, you know, Sling TV, Vudu,
right,
all that stuff. You just download the app, and if you have, like me, I have Comcast at my house. So like ESPN, I just sign into my Xfinity, and it allows me to watch ESPN on it.
Right.
Problem is,
that's why
I mean, this isn't awesome, but it's good. That ESPN dude comes in so sketchy, man. And I know part of it is because it's running off of the Wi-Fi, the guest Wi-Fi. But if we have our own internet in here and use that Wi-Fi,
it should come in clear.
Oh my God, it'll be crystal. So I figured I found a poster that I want to put next to Ali. It's a Mike Tyson poster, and it's a black and white with red in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was going to try to put like a color poster of somebody to offset the black and white.
Right.
But that Tyson poster was just, I was like, ooh. I'm like, yeah, I might have to just get that. Sports Guy Mike Show presented by Woodman Nissan right here on Cruising 101.3 FM KFEZ. Sports Guy Mike, Paul the Buckeye at the end of the table.
Good to be here.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, making us a part of your day, your drive home. Please be careful out there on the roadways, y'all. Man, if I could stop hacking up, that would be great. All right, top 5 at 5 comes from the NBA. Now, last night there were a couple games in action. The Magic actually beat the Boston Celtics. How that happened, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about Kyrie Irving's new squad at 34 and 12 coming into this game. Magic 13 and 32.
That's sad.
This Orlando Magic team, y'all, have only won 6 or 5 games on the road going into this game, and they went into TD Garden and took it to the friggin'
Handled business.
Boston Celtics.
Yes, sir. Hey, any given night.
Huh?
Any given night.
Now,
Anything can happen.
on the flip side of that, as I'm bashing the Boston Celtics, and I'm sure their fans are just oh so happy with me right now, don't worry about it, Boston fans. You'll enjoy this. My Knicks got whooped by the Lakers, 127 to 107. The Lakers going into this game were 16 and 29. The Knicks were 21 and 25.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Yeah. No, that's
you
a
know,
tough loss for the Knicks, sure.
Porzingis had some issues. Enes Kanter had some issues as well during that game. I watched parts of it, not very happy. That's what I'm saying. Like, my weekend was not good.
No.
You know what I
didn't have a
mean?
good weekend.
Like, for one, let me explain something to you. I'm rooting for the Jacksonville Jaguars in my living room with the person that is the reason I am a Steeler fan, my mother, and we are both sitting there, and like I am not kidding you, feverishly, competitively rooting for the Jaguars.
Did you find yourself going like, yeah, what am I doing? Wait a minute. What?
Look, it could have been Christian Blind School. It doesn't matter. It could have been a gang of giraffes on the field playing the Patriots. Would not have mattered. If it would have been the Baltimore Ravens, as much as that would have hurt, I still would have rooted for whoever. I always root for whoever is playing
against
the Patriots.
Absolutely.
And that's why I get so much crap, because people are like, Mike, you are the epitome, the antithesis of what a Patriot hater is. So it's kind of hard to take you for what you say at face value. And I go, look, you have to remember, at the end of the day, I'm a football guy. I love football. I love breaking it down. I love watching it. So when I'm talking about it, yes, I may, get some jabs in there every once in a while. But at the end of the day, the stuff I'm saying is the same stuff that other analysts and other people, that aren't biased are saying as well. I was in Denver covering the Broncos when they went to that Super Bowl against Seattle.
Right.
Okay? I got torched for saying that Denver was going to get smoked. I got torched. And they're like, you're just a hater. You're a Steeler fan, and you don't want the Broncos to win. I go, look, I would love nothing more than the Broncos to win.
I remember that game.
I didn't want Seattle to win.
I remember that game well because I was sweating that game, dude. Because, you know, I'm a 49er fan.
Right.
Right now, we have that record. I didn't want Seattle to break our record.
All I know is that I was sitting behind a table and a microphone, and I said, Denver has never seen a defense like Seattle. I just don't. I don't think that they have enough offensive power to completely dominate or even get past that defense because Denver's never seen anything. They've never seen schemes like this. It's going to be too rough for them. I say Seattle wins by 2 touchdowns. Holy cow, dude. My producer was like, every phone line is busy right now. He's like, I got somebody on every
you got
line.
Lit up.
Dude, they torched me. They were like, "You're a hater. Why did you come to Denver to?"
I'm a realist.
Right? Why did you come to Denver to do sports talk? And I was like, "Okay." The best part about that was that Monday morning, just as it was on that Friday, of getting completely blown up on the phone
The
lines.
lights were completely dark. Weren't
Nope, they were completely filled with apologies.
They?
Sports guy Mike, you were right. Mike, we were a little. One guy called that completely torched me on air, and my producer kept looking at me, and he's like, "Do you want?" And I go, "Don't worry about it." And so my producer finally just cut the guy off because he was going past the point of,
Right.
no return. So he
He's
called.
in the danger zone.
Right. So he called and he was like, Mike, you have my respect. I am sorry for going completely off on you. Kyle Berry, I'm sorry to have put you in that position. So it wasn't, people after the fact realized, okay,
right.
He wasn't talking out of his neck. He wasn't talking
right.
with a Pittsburgh Steeler hat on. He was, what I said.
With a football hat on.
What I said, right. What
right.
I said actually came true. So, meh, is how
right.
You know what I mean?
Because that's what was about to happen.
Exactly. So, yeah. But anyway, back to the NBA. 101-100, the Brooklyn Nets squeaked out a win over the Pistons, and the Pacers beat the Spurs. Spurs are having some issues over there. Pau Gasol just too old, man. I'm still trying to figure out why San Antonio picked him up. Not having Kawhi Leonard, it's putting rifts in that organization. There's been a couple articles written on it as well. But, yeah, San Antonio's having some issues. No Kawhi Leonard means, it's just not a good thing. So our top 5 at 5 are the NBA team rankings thus far.
Rankings are out.
That's right, for this week. After 4 weeks of hiatus, the Houston Rockets are back in the top 2 this week. Let's see. So top 5 right now are the Minnesota Timberwolves, who were 6th. They've climbed a spot. Currently 30-18. Toronto Raptors. First of all, can somebody tell me why the Raptors logo is gray now?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Wasn't it like some kind of purple?
Well, yeah, and it was the dinosaur, I thought, too.
Well, it still has look, there's dinosaur, like, grips on the ball.
Okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
The claw.
But it's gray.
That's just weird.
The first time I saw this was, like, about a month ago, and I thought something was wrong with my phone.
Right.
Because I was like,
what is this?
I'm like, how come the color's not coming in? Like, what's going on? Toronto Raptors have dropped from number 3 to number 4. They are currently 31-14. DeMar DeRozan trying to make his, he's about to make his second All-Star break. Here's the thing. You cannot do it with just DeMar DeRozan. And the Toronto Raptors are a good team, but they have some issues too that they need to fix if they want to make a run at this. Boston Celtics have dropped from number 2 to number 3. They are 34-13, like we just said. Houston Rockets jumped up from the number 4 spot to the number 2 spot with a 32-12 record, and of course the
And
Golden
of course, number one.
Golden State Warriors are 37-10. Do you think I like the Warriors?
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
No.
Not even a little bit, dude.
They're becoming the NBA's Patriots.
Not even a little. And that's it. It's funny that you say that because they are.
Because we're just getting tired of seeing them.
They are
Get
becoming.
something new and fresh here, please.
Does that ever get your goat when you see teams in NHL and the NBA and the NFL? Does it make you jaded? Does it make you like, my mother and I were talking about this, and I was like, if the Jags don't win, I don't know if I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. And she looked at me and she's like, yeah, right. But she's like, I understand what you're saying. It's very hard to constantly.
Right. It's like watching a repeat.
It is.
Over and over and over again.
Does it make you jaded as a sports fan?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to see, like I said, something new and fresh. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want to sit there and watch the same rerun over
and over
and over again. Nobody wants to watch that. Give us something, a Cinderella story out of nowhere. Some team, that's why Jacksonville would have been great, I think, for the NFL and just for the Super Bowl. Jacksonville would have been great.
Right. As a guy that's been watching sports since he was a kid, it absolutely has made me jaded.
Oh, yeah.
Because.
But you got to realize now,
I dealt with that back in the day with the Knicks and the Bulls.
Well, and you got to realize, though, Mr. Looper, a lot of people feel the same way about your Yankees for a while there. We felt that way for a long time about the Yankees. Not within the past, probably 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
But for that long stretch there throughout the 90s, yeah.
See, like you bring up
the Patriots too, sir.
See, now I'm gonna pull this up because you make it sound like we won year in and year out. The Yankees didn't do that. The Yankees would be in position to either get in the World Series or be close.
Right.
But never were they like the Patriots where, 3 or 5. They've been to 5 Super Bowl. They've been to 5 Super Bowls.
But you're always either right there at that divisional round or you're at, playing for the championship, what have you, like you said, for the chance, for the pennant,
right?
To get to the World Series. It seems like the Yankees are always eke their way into it somehow, and just it's like a tick on your head or something. Get it off.
But
Go away.
But see, that's what I mean. Like you're talking about them like they won every single year in the '90s for 10 years in a row, and that's not how it went down. You see what I mean?
Right.
So, like, look, all right, I'll give you the perfect example, okay? So, in the 90s, they won in 96, 98, and 99. So, and 2000. So, they did have a 3-year stretch right
early
there.
2000s
right.
Too. Up until probably like 2005 to 2010, they're still there every year again.
2009, of course, was the last one they won. So, there was a 9-year gap between 2000 and 2009. They went on a 3-year run, 98, 99, and 2000, and before that was 96. Now, before that, 1978.
So wait.
So how can we be
2000 and 96? So that's 4 out of 5
96,
years. So you can see why we're tired.
98, 99. 3 years in the 90s.
And 2000.
Well, that's not the 90s.
What I'm saying
right.
is 4 out of 5 years.
Right.
The Yankees won it.
Right.
Tired of them. Move on. Something else.
No, it's time for the Yankees to make a resurgence. I need a daggone World Series hat. So get it together, New York, because I need.
Let some of us other teams get at least one first.
Nah. Hal and Hank Steinbrenner are on a mission. They just went out and got Booney.
They are.
They went out and got Booney as the manager. Brian Cashman was completely on board. Giancarlo Stanton. Yes. I need a pennant.
Scary, people.
I need a pennant and a World Series.
That lineup is going to be scary.
So, get it popping. 719-422-9489 is the number to call or text. Okay, I thought these earbuds were going to work, but they work during the morning because they're just in for 4 or 5 minutes and then they're out.
Right.
But now they're kind of irritating me a little bit here. So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and then we'll come back and we'll annoy you guys some more right here on the Sports Guy Mike Show, presented by Woodman Nissan. Reality check coming up next. Don't go anywhere, y'all. It's Cruising 101.3.
Stay right here.
Yeah, they work good in the morning, but when they got to
Right.
and they look better is another reason why I had them, because they look better on the video.
Just got a text from my mom. She says this is a Cinderella story. He's going for number 6, and he's over 40. Do you want something different?
He's 40. He's not over 40. Talking about Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not over 40.
She said if you want something different, somebody needs to beat them.
Trust me, I got all my money on them.
They love to talk to Pats just to push my buttons, like I said. I think it's funny.
I as much as I hate Philly, it looks like I'll be rooting for them.
Rooting for the Patriots?
No, rooting for the Eagles.
Yeah. You know, I would. That would probably be the roughest decision I'd ever have to make.
What's that?
If somehow, like, they were scrimmaging and the Patriots were playing that team up north, I don't know who I'd root for.
Patriots or the Donkeys?
No.
Who?
Michigan.
What? Oh, if you had to root for Michigan?
Michigan or the Patriots? I don't know who I'd pick, dude. I think I'd have to root for the Patriots at that point. I don't think there's anything that can make me root.
I can't go there with you, dude.
Even in the bowl games, we were what, 8-0 before Michigan hit their bowl game. Big Ten was. I was rooting for Michigan to lose that game. I don't care if they're Big Ten or not. Lose. And they did. They did not disappoint.
Yeah, I can't. I wouldn't be able to help you out with that, man.
I can't bring myself to root for that one team at any point for any reason.
If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Turnbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800.
I am Groot.
You're probably paying more than you should. Call Turnbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at turnbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Hey, Colorado Springs, looking for somewhere to hang out with the whole family? Get over to Soccer House at 4845 List Drive, right off of Garden of the Gods in Centennial. There's always something to do at the Soccer House. Take the kids over there and get involved with the Mighty Kicks. Soccer House.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen this movie.
Development soccer program.
What movie is that?
Right?
This is volume 2.
Offering full-day multi-sport camps and
Volume
Isn't
2.
that Batista that plays the big dude?
to the upper 90 tower.
Yes, that is Dave Bautista.
And great food. It's the
He is
Monster, man.
he is becoming quite the
whole family.
The actor, movie
yes.
star, yeah. Trying to take after The Rock.
They all are.
They see how well The Rock's doing.
Computer design, custom, and prefabricated speaker boxes for cars and trucks are available. They carry all your favorite brands, including Pioneer, Kenwood, and Rockwood Fosgate. Platinum Audio Sound at 255 South Circle Drive here in the Springs. Call 719-434-2676 for an appointment. Open 10 to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores, process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Sports Guy Mike Show. Cruising 101.3 FM KFEZ. Sports Guy Mike, Paul the Buckeye at the end of the table.
What's happening? What's happening?
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, making us a part of your day, your drive home. Be safe out there.
Stay off your phones. Keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, because whatever melted earlier,
yeah, it's gonna start
could get cold. So, you know, just like I said this morning on the morning boombox, be careful because there's still a lot of ice out there. I mean, even the fact that the sun kind of melted some of it away. I mean, I'm sure it's still there.
It's still around.
So, all right, it is time for a quick reality check on some stuff that's going on. And I love trolling TMZ Sports.
Oh, jeez.
Because there's always so much. They are the best online rag mag there is for anything. Sports, celebrities.
You name it.
It doesn't matter.
They got the garbage.
I did see this story, though. It is not sports related. And I'm not going to get into it, but did you hear about Tom Petty died of a massive accidental drug overdose?
Yes, I did hear that. Yeah, sad.
Sad, man. Sad. Unbelievable. I was going to talk about it this morning, and I was like, but it's not like the guy was an addict or anything. No.
He was dealing with a lot of pain in his life. You know
right.
I mean? He just broken hip, all kinds of stuff, and
accidents
happen.
Took too much, yeah.
Right.
All right, so in the reality check, apparently Terrell Owens. Now, I know I told you guys about T.O. acting a fool.
Shocker.
On MTV.
He's never done that before.
On MTV. Dude, he got into it with a reality guy.
Oh, geez.
You know what I mean? He got into it with...
Mistake number one.
Well, he got into it with CT from The Challenge.
Oh, whatever.
You know, and literally walked off the set. I'm like, dude, how old are you?
Right.
Well, apparently he's back in the news, and Terrell Owens says the Dallas Cowboys have a long history of turning on superstar players and running them out of town. And he doesn't want Dak Prescott to be the next victim. Owens was at LAX, and TMZ asked about his weekend Twitter comments when he argued that Dallas's disappointing 9-7 record was not Dak's fault. He also argued that Dak is not trying to turn the locker room against Des Bryant, who also had a disappointing season. Instead, Owens seemed to argue that the Cowboys coaching staff and other execs are pushing the negative narrative to create a fall guy so that they can fire that guy and looks like a hero. Case in point, T.O., according to T.O., T.O. says that's exactly what happened to him back in the day. Claiming Tony Romo and then offensive coordinator Jason Garrett teamed up to force him out to save face. Now, I do remember a lot of that. And to be honest with you, I kind of want to side with T.O.
Really?
Look, Tony wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. But you got to remember, T.O. is this big. And, of course, for those of you on YouTube can see me doing, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
this big. Like a little kid. It is big. He's such a big personality that it was easy for them to go, you know what? He's acting like an idiot. Look what he's doing on the sideline.
Right.
We'll just can his behind and blame the whole season on T.O.
Right.
We'll say the locker room couldn't get along because he's a jerk.
His antics distracted everybody.
Right?
Right.
Not fair,
Simple enough.
but I could see how that happened. But let me give you the bottom line from where I'm sitting. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback.
He is.
The problem is the media turned him into a great quarterback
in his rookie year
on the heels of having someone like Zeke Elliott.
Right.
And what happened was everybody saw the truth when you lost Zeke.
Right.
Now all of a sudden he's struggling.
Now all of a sudden we all see who should have won Rookie of the Year last year.
They're not winning. He's struggling. The offense is struggling.
Because Zeke is not there.
Because Zeke was not there. So, and look, in case in point, I am a firm believer in Dak Prescott. I am what you call a closet Mississippi State Bulldog fan.
Okay.
Okay, I went to Starkville, Mississippi years ago and was treated like I was their long-lost son. And in Starkville, Mississippi, there's probably 8 black people, and they all go to the college. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. So, you know, it was, I mean, partially a testament. I can pat myself on the back. I'm a very nice and warm and welcoming guy.
Right.
But, you know, this is a very questionable area of our country. And these people were so nice. And, you know, we met the mayor and the sheriff and all this. And they actually took us to a game that Saturday. We were leaving Friday afternoon. And me and my sales guys were packing up. And the chief of police came to the hotel and he was like, hey, we'd love to have you guys as our guests to come see a Bulldog game. You know, the whole works. You know, we'll send a car for you and your guys.
Now you're talking.
You know, you guys will get great seats. You'll get, you know, preferential treatment. And I was just like, wow.
Boy.
Went to that game and just I was like, awesome. So I've always kind of secretly rooted for Mississippi State. I was always on board with Dak Prescott. Always. I was like, this is a guy in the right system at the right time, should really be able to flourish because he's got a lot of talent. He can move around in the pocket with his feet. He's not going to be that guy that in 5 years go, oh, he's lost a step. This is a kid that down the stretch is still going to have his feet and is still going to be fleet of foot. However, you put him in a situation that he couldn't win. You know why he couldn't win? Because he needed Zeke.
Zeke. O-H. My
He
Buckeye.
needed
Zeke.
Because the minute you took him out of the equation, everybody was like, well, gee, I don't know why they're not winning. Because you don't have the running back that you were giving the offense 40% of.
Right.
You were putting 40% of the offense on that kid's back.
Right.
Yes, you're going to have problems winning if you take him out. But Dak is so good. Well, apparently he's not.
Right.
And
Seems pretty clear.
And it actually, in my opinion, a little unfair. You know what I mean? Because they put it on him, and like a true champion, he took it and he wore it.
He did.
So,
I will give him that.
You know. All right. In other news, there was blood before the game and fires afterwards. And of course, I'm talking about Philadelphia. But the Philadelphia PD told TMZ that only, and I love how the word only appears in this article, only 6 people were arrested on Sunday in connection to the NFC Championship madness. One person was arrested for assault on a police officer. They were told the incident took place in the parking lot of Lincoln Financial before the game. So this fool didn't even get to go into the game because he was acting like an idiot. What is wrong with you people?
Oh, my goodness.
You go to watch the game, not to be a butthole.
Right. You pay all that money for the tickets and to get there and the parking. Come on, man.
What would possess... Look, I have been to plenty of parking lots, tailgates, stuff like that. I've been to plenty, and I've always had a lot of fun. Have you ever been to one where you didn't see a fight break out?
Well, yeah.
I have too.
All the time.
Yeah. So why in Philly, the city of brotherly love...
Right. That name always cracks me up.
Why can't y'all do what y'all are supposed to do and act right and just have some hot dogs and brats and some burgers and some chicken and have a few beers?
1 or 2 beers.
Look.
Not a 12-pack
Right.
before the game. People. 1 or 2.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
I mean, you can even get your little buzz on before the game, whatever. Before
Grown
the
people.
game, and then let it wear off throughout the game so you can drive home safely.
Exactly.
But just, you got to use your head, people.
2 more people were arrested for disorderly conduct, and 3 others were busted for counterfeit ticket sales.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's a picture of the cops on horseback trying to contain this guy with no shirt on and his pants falling down around his ankles. Oh my God. Afterwards, fans went crazy in the streets, but according to the police, it wasn't as bad as social media made it out to be because, of course, I think I said this morning, but the cops actually went out and greased the lampposts.
Good, so they couldn't climb up them.
So they couldn't climb up them, yeah.
Good for them.
Now, I don't think that they were out there with Crisco and all that.
Vaseline.
Yeah, that, you know what I mean? Some, Thonio lard and all that good stuff. But I think at some point, yeah, they probably went up there with like
some cans of spray.
right,
Pam.
some canola, yeah, some Pam,
There you go.
canola
Spray that
spray,
up a little bit real quick.
sprayed them because they really thought that they were gonna like completely lose their flipping minds.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, absolutely.
but they didn't, and like the article says, only 6.
I actually have a buddy of mine who was sitting in a bar in Philly and messaged me right after that happened. He said, "Dude, everybody here is losing their minds." I was like, "Yeah, go figures."
Didn't surprise me. Well, it's any city, really. Okay, and finally, before we take a break, this poor kid is getting a lot of slack on social media. Karl Anthony Towns, okay, showed up at the Minnesota-Philly game. He plays for Minnesota, but he showed up in a Philly jersey. He is all about Philly, decked out in Eagles gear and celebrating after the victory. The Timberwolves star, who was in town to play the Clippers, was in a good mood and everything. So can you really blame the kid? Here's what I'm going to say. Karl Anthony Towns grew up in Edison, New Jersey. It's about 60 miles from Philly. I know tons of guys that live in Philly that live in Jersey that are huge Eagle fans.
Right.
So do you think it's fair that people are ripping him for showing up, seeing that he plays for the T-Wolves in Minnesota and the Eagles were playing? You know what I mean? Do you think it's fair that they're ripping him?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, because, how can you, for instance, myself.
Right.
If I was to go, for whatever reason, make it to the NFL tomorrow.
Right.
Playing for the Denver Broncos. How can you take that 49er fan out of some, you know what I'm saying? How can you take that fan that somebody's been for their entire life and take that out of somebody? Now, I can see them ripping him because you're on a team right now.
Right.
And when you're on a team, you have to rep your team all the time. I don't care. You have to rep your team because that's your team. Those are your teammates. That's what you should be proud of. So,
right.
Yeah, I can see ripping him because he's hanging out in.
Well, it's not like he's a Viking. He's a Timberwolf. For me, the problem is this is the way I look at it. I think he should have been smarter. I get it. He's a huge Philly fan. He wanted to go to the game. It's a tough one, man. It really is, because you see a lot of these guys that'll go, that are from the Eagles, they'll go to 76er games or whatever the case may be. So you see guys supporting their city's other professional franchises,
Right.
which you want to see.
Right.
So I know it's not fair to ask Karl Anthony Towns to not go to a game that he was probably like, man, I really want to see this. Especially if he was a fan since he was a kid.
But it looks bad because you're playing.
It does. It
the
looks
Minnesota
bad.
Team.
Right.
You're playing. Technically, what is your hometown team right now?
I think if anything, maybe
And you're rooting
show
against
up.
them.
Maybe show up to the game, but not in a Philly jersey.
Just don't wear any gear at all. Just wear some regular clothes, and if you want to cheer for them, hey, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you know what I mean.
Go ahead.
But to make it so blatant, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
is why everybody
Was blasting it, right?
was kind of, smashing them pretty good. So, all right, y'all, keep it locked. Sports Guy Mike Show presented by Woodman Nissan. When we come back, we're going to do our locks of the night and, of course, one last story. right here on Cruising 101.3 KFEZ, Sports Guy Mike Show. Keep it locked, Joe.
Colorado Springs. We are cruising. Bigger is better. Woodman Nissan is the Nissan Giant, the largest volume Nissan dealer in southern Colorado, which means a larger selection of high-quality pre-owned vehicles. Choose any vehicle in stock. Buy before 1 p.m. in the afternoon and receive 1 year's maintenance at no charge. Yes, complimentary maintenance for 1 year. A 2016 Nissan Rogue S all-wheel drive starts at just $16,888, and we have 10 in stock. Or choose a 2016 Nissan Ultimate S from just $12,888. 10 or more in stock. Save when you buy, get more money when you trade. And when you buy before 1 p.m. from now till November 30th, you'll receive 1 year free maintenance on your used vehicle. Bigger is better. The biggest selection, our best prices, and more for your trade. There's no reason.
Tonight I'll look up how to put in a how to put in like just like an image so that when you know what I mean, like if
Right when we're in commercial.
yeah, like
right.
you just stick it up and I'll say Sports Guy Mike Show or whatever.
Trying to pick a lock. It's a tougher one, right?
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Now you can have a large portion of your credit card debt forgiven. Get Relief Today wants to give you free information that shows you how. This program is proven to work for credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt.
I have to play it right now.
People have used it to have a portion of their credit card debt.
And we're up 1-0 already.
Now for free information and a
Who is?
The Avs.
give you the secret to this money-saving program absolutely free. Get eye-opening information that could save you
Played
thousands
Toronto.
of dollars a year or a month, depending on how much you owe. In fact, the more you owe, the more you can save. All you need is to owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or department store debt to qualify. So call for free debt forgiveness information now. 207-8558. That's 800-207-8558. Discover the secret to having your credit card debt forgiven. Call 800-207-8558. 800-207-8558. Colorado has one of the hottest.
Oh man, I forgot about that Chris Tucker special that's on there.
If you're thinking
I'm gonna have to watch that.
now is a great time. Let the Centennial Group at Equity work for you. Their detailed
Let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna get out of here. Go to this.
This market won't last long. Text the word Bladen to 88000 for a free home evaluation. That's Bladen 88000.
Teeth and Time is a family-owned and operated custom screen printing and embroidery company located at 3320 Carefree Circle West, right off Academy behind the Peak Vista Center. Need shirts for a family reunion, company event, or your sports team's uniforms? Teeth and Time has got you covered. Literally, they even have cool promotional products for your business like water bottles, backpacks, lip balm, and just about anything you can put your logo on.
Here's the-
Check out Teeth
Yeah, see how bad the feed is?
Fuzzy as hell.
But the movie wasn't bad.
No, the movie was clear as bell.
is always on time.
Breeze Car presents When Stakes Interrupt. Thanks for the ride, sis.
No problem.
That has to be. I mean, because even when I was doing it from here, and I was HDMIing in, it was crappy
still
like that.
crappy.
Yeah.
Pro tip, sis. Take up the Breeze.
Chicken nuggets.
Breeze Car has 2 new ways to drive away embarrassing odors. You're now available without heavy reviews or with extra volt send.
Sports Guy Mike Show. Cruising 101.3 KFEZ. Sports Guy Mike Show presented by Woodman Nissan. I-25 and Woodman Road. Make sure you get down there and check out some of the great deals they have on new and pre-owned vehicles. You can also apply for financing on their website, woodmannissan.com. Get down there, find Brock, and let him know that sports guy Mike sent you. All right, it is about that time for locks of the night. All right, NBA action already. Kings taking on the Hornets. Kings are up 42-38. Both these teams are kind of worse for wear. It's not like they're great teams or whatever, but, you know, Dwight Howard still hanging on to what's left of his career playing in Charlotte. So, yeah, whatever. You also got Atlanta Hawks and the Jazz just kicked it off. 2-0. Hawks are up. But, so let's see who we got. So we got the Heat and Rockets playing tonight on NBA TV. That game starts at 6 o'clock. You got an 11. Let's see, Houston -11. 76ers Grizzlies. Suns Bucks in Milwaukee. Bulls Pelicans. Pelicans favored by 6.5
6.5 on that one. Yep.
over the Bulls. Let's see, Wizards Mavs. I can't believe the Mavs are only favored. I mean,
It's only a
the Wizards.
-1.
1.5. That is insane. And then you got Timberwolves, Clippers in LA, and then the Trailblazers are coming to Denver to take on the Nuggets in the Big Tin Can. Denver's actually favored by 3 in this game. So I'll let you pick first. Who you taking tonight?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go out a little bit on a limb, I guess you could say. I'm gonna take the Pelicans tonight over the Bulls.
Take the Pelicans over the
Taking
Bulls.
Pelicans over the Bulls on their home court.
Okay. Bulls are garbage.
Exactly. That's why I'm taking the Pelicans.
18-28, 7-16 on the road. Yeah, Anthony Davis probably gonna take care of business tonight
He gonna beat him up.
in his house. In the and I've talked about this in the past. Some of the businesses that end up sponsoring these arenas, here in Colorado,
Yeah.
they're finally taking down the Sports Authority off of the Mile High. So I guess they're just gonna call it Mile High,
Until they figure out.
or
who's
until
gonna be
somebody
the next
steps
person
up
to
with
fork over hundreds of millions to sponsor.
a couple $100,000 for, whatever, however much it costs. God knows. Maybe it's a couple million. Who knows?
It's probably in the millions.
But how crazy is that though? That stadium, that company had free advertising for no good reason because they were out of business.
Right.
Trust me, I know. I bought a bunch of golfing stuff, some hats. I bought a gang of Denver Broncos T-shirts, Super Bowl T-shirts and regulars, and gave them away on my show.
Just gave them away.
Well, because they were like $2.
You can't. Yeah.
They were like $25 T-shirts, $30 T-shirts, long sleeve shirts. $2, $3. I just went in there and grabbed whatever I could and went up to the counter, and the lady was like, "Are these all the same size?" I said, "No." I said, "They're for a radio giveaway." She's like, "Oh, okay." And she started ringing them up, and it was funny because they were like $3, $3, $3, free, $3, $3, $3, free. So I was like getting every third or fourth T-shirt for free. It was
Nice.
ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So
See,
yeah.
what I'm wondering is now, though, is it just a matter of the highest bidder or what? For the stadium.
Well, right
It
now-
doesn't have to be a corporation or a company. I mean, let's say.
I
for
mean, if you
instance,
want, okay, go ahead.
the
Go
man's
ahead.
got enough money. Let's say John Elway said, "Here's however much money you want. It's just going to be called John Elway Stadium at Mile High." Would they do that? If the man's willing to fork over enough money?
Here's the thing. First of all, it's
If I hit Powerball tomorrow, can I
Right.
make that Paul Burst Stadium at Mile High? Can I do that?
I think, okay, let me answer your first question. Your first question was if John Elway did it. If John Elway did it, I think the last thing that they would do is say no.
True.
Okay? Because it's John.
He's Denver royalty.
If it's you and you're just going up there with a wheelbarrow full of money,
cash.
I don't know. They might be like, okay, we can't name it after you, but if you have a company or a business, then we can put the
You can
business
put your
name.
business name on it.
Right. But knowing you'd be slick and you'd go, okay, well, we're going
Here's
to
my business name.
Paul Burr Enterprises.
Exactly.
So now when I worked up at, when I was up at Mile High
Burr
Sports, when I was up at Mile High Sports, we were trying to get James Mirlat and his partners to go name it Mile High Sports Stadium.
Right.
Is what, you know, I mean, obviously it was a joke because I'm sure it's going to cost a pretty penny to get that. And the thing about it was, not only was Sports Authority going south and losing money, the problem was they owed the Denver Broncos organization a ton of money because they weren't paying their bills. But anyway, so the reason I brought that up, as we went completely all the way off the side of the road and into a ditch, was because in New Orleans, the arena that they play in is called the Smoothie King Center.
The Smoothie
King is the sponsor of that venue, yes. So it is the Smoothie King Center. That's all right. Milwaukee plays in the BMO Harris Bradley Center.
Come on, man.
Yes.
That's crazy.
All right, so you're taking the Pelicans, 6.5 favorite over the Bulls. You know, I'm going to stick my neck out there, and it's probably going to get chopped off because I think Damian Lillard has been playing well. But I'm going to take the Nugs to squeak out a win. I don't think they cover. I think they'll get a last-minute bucket and somehow beat the Trailblazers. I got to give them hope. I got to give the local guys some hope. So let's go with the Nuggets because originally I was going to take the Rockets over the Heat. However, this is not such a it's weird to see it when you see a team that's 27-19 that isn't playing all that bad. They're well above 500 on the road, playing a team like the Rockets. You know, the Heat's not horrible. They're not awesome, but they're not horrible. And for Houston to be an 11-point favorite.
11 points is pretty wide margin there.
Well, what it is it's saying that, well, the Heat aren't as good as their record is saying they are. That's
what they're trying to tell
well,
you.
that's what it seems like Vegas is saying to me. So, for that, give me the Nuggets. I'm going out on a limb. Hopefully my head doesn't get chopped off like a chicken out on the farm. But we'll see. Go Nugs tonight. All right. We're going to get out of here. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Right here on Cruising 101.3 KFEZ. Sports Guy Mike Show presented by Woodman Nissan. Make sure you guys get down there and check it out. If you're looking for a new car, even if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, or, hey, you might just need your car serviced, get down to Woodman Nissan, I-25 and Woodman Road. You can also check them out, apply for financing. You can even schedule some maintenance on your vehicle by going to their website and checking out all the good deals as well. I'm Sports Guy Mike. That's Paul the Buckeye at the end of the table.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you again tomorrow. And don't forget, listen to the Morning Boombox on our sister station, Blaze at 98.5 from 8 to noon tomorrow morning. Yes, I have long days.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Trust me, brother. I know that.
My eyes are like... All right, and thank you for watching on YouTube. And thank you for those of you that texted in. I'm sorry I didn't get to some of your texts. I was doing a little too much. But I am working on getting an intern to sit right here beside me and do more of the button pushing. So maybe a little easier for me to respond. All right. Keep it locked right here, y'all, on Cruising 101.3 for some great music following us. And we're out of here. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. And as I say around here all the time, don't sweat small stuff. We're out of here. See ya!